What were some times when you died inside? Being 45 minutes into a 1-hour drive to a meeting to realize you left the main reason for the meeting at home. Man. I felt this. I drove nearly 1 hour through the rush hour traffic just to realize at my destination that I now have to do it all again. Skeptical smiley face. Yay, let's waste 3 hours. At least it won't be rush hour on the way back. Yeah folks. I get it. Traffic is bad in your city. I was on a school trip to a preschool and I had bad gas. I was chilling on the floor and this little girl jumped on my stomach and I ripped ass so fucking hard. I'm sorry but that's hilarious. But he probably had something dead inside him. So hard the girl was launched back to where she jumped from. Something similar happened to me. Was holding in a huge fart while hanging out with this girl I liked in middle school and she jokingly punched me in the stomach. I ripped ass hard and was so embarrassed. I feel better about mine now. LMAO, maybe she learned not to jump on random people's stomachs after that. I crochet and my old boss at work asked me for a scarf. He requested lilac, which I thought was odd. But he was super insistent and even sent me a color chart pointing out the exact shade he wanted. I bought the yarn and made him a scarf. But then ran into him and mentioned the scarf again and he started cracking up saying he was joking. Definitely embarrassing, but I'm glad I didn't actually bring it with me and give him the scarf only to find out he was being an asshole. I wound up giving it to another coworker who was watching the whole thing play out and she was super appreciative. God. What a massive dick. Haha. Yes. What a funny joke. I definitely love spending literal hours making things you don't actually want. Yeah, I definitely felt dumb since it took me around 3 hours. But luckily my friend loved it. Should have charged him for the wool and labor. Dick. This is one of those occasions when a person could really suck the air out of the room and just make it super awkward. No. I definitely made it for you. I spent a lot of time on it and bought the materials. I definitely don't think that you, in a management position, would ever ask for us to perform wasteful and time-consuming tasks that you weren't serious about. I will leave the scarf on your desk tomorrow. Not caring about how uncomfortable a situation gets is almost a superpower. I didn't mean for this thread to go full TED Talk motivational speaker. What a dick move. He should be embarrassed. Not you. Walked halfway across campus before a random dude let me know that I had a string of toilet paper hanging out of the back of my pants. There was poop. Just kill me. I always wonder how this happens. Please describe your wiping methods in detail. I'll be waiting patiently. I feel like typing this out would be the point at which I'd really stop and think about my life. Straight shit myself in 2nd grade. I wasn't feeling good at all, but I was too embarrassed to ask to go to the bathroom, and without any warning I audibly filled my pants with what felt like a gallon of diarrhea. We were sitting cross-legged on the floor for reading time and I quickly had shit up my back to my shoulder blades and down my pants to the knees. Of course I was sitting between 2 girls at the time who promptly screamed and crawled away as if I had burst into flames. Teacher's mouth dropped and I just weakly said, "I don't feel good." Everyone was staring at me with the most stomach-turned look of disgust. I would have rather eaten broken glass than be sitting there as I was. Teacher sent me to the nurse. Me waddling. Dripping liquid feces the whole way. Nurse was obviously extremely aggravated with me, which really felt good to a 7-year-old who already wished he was dead. All but threw a set of ancient loner clothes and a plastic bag at me. admonished me to make sure my mother washed them that night so I could return them in the morning. She angrily told me to go to the bathroom, clean myself up and put my shit-covered clothing in the bag and tie it up to take it home. I did the best I could, washing in a sink with the useless pink powder soap and shit-tier brown paper towels that don't absorb at all, and changed into a pair of corduroy pants and a XXL button-down shirt used as an art smock. Then was sent back to class. I still smelled poop, but I had no idea where it was coming from, and the teacher had me sit way off to the side for the rest of the day when the other kids complained. For the rest of that year I had no friends whatsoever and was known throughout school as the kid that shit himself during reading time. Luckily I changed schools the next year, so I left my shitty reputation behind me. Why the hell wouldn't they send you home? When I shit my pants in 3rd grade, had the shits and jumped off the swing too hard, they sent me home lol. * grammar. That time I left school while chatting to friends and spotted my mum's car. Got in said car and uttered the usual "thanks for picking me up mum," only to realize that it was not in fact my mum's car, but a complete stranger and their family. Were they good sports about it at least? I kinda Saturday there for a minute staring while my brain came to the decision that yes, this is indeed the wrong car, perhaps I should get out. The dad just said "wrong car" and I left and pretended that nobody saw my horrifying mistake. Since when we adopted this kid? * It's not kidnapping. It's a surprise adoption. * My girlfriend decided she liked my best friend more. Broke up with me. Tried to get with him, but he friend-zoned her right off the bat. It was sad for a long time, but now I think it's hilarious. Your best friend is a bro. Hell yeah he is. It was pretty funny, she was all texting him about wanting to get with him and he texted back and friend-zoned her. I was there. Sounds like a good friend. He is. I trust that kid with my life. At least she did the right thing and broke up with you first. Seems a lot of people skip that step. I was supposed to fill in for the coach of my son's soccer team this weekend, but plans changed. This morning I told my son I wouldn't be coaching his team on Saturday. He said, "Good," dead inside. Maybe he is just shy. Anything but. He's 13 and parents are embarrassing. When I was 17, depressed and was seriously considering ending my life, I wanted to know how my mother had died. She died when I was 2, so I never knew her. Before I decided on killing myself, I wanted to know how she had passed away. So one day in the car, just me and my dad, I asked my dad how she died. He didn't say anything for like a full-on minute and I was nervous about his reaction. So when I finally looked at him, there were tears running down his face. It was that moment I felt like a piece of crap for wanting to end my life. What made it worse was that when he finally gathered himself, he told me she had hung herself due to her BPD, borderline personality disorder. So I felt like an even bigger piece of crap. So just seeing how 15 years after she died, that was how he reacted when asked how she died, I knew I couldn't make him feel that way again. So I wasn't living for myself, but to stop him from going through that again. Sometimes living for other people is what it takes to survive through a suicidal period. Sometimes just living for yourself isn't enough. I'm glad you're still here. At 16 years old I decided to live for my sister. 8 years later I needed to live for my son. 9 years on and now there are so many people in my life to live for, including myself. Oddly, I choose living to spite other people. When I was suicidal, I had those thoughts of just do it, then they'll feel sorry. Thing was, the people making my life hell. They wouldn't feel sorry. They would make a joke and move on. So no, I decided I was going to stick around and not give them the satisfaction. Was on a TV quiz show and totally fucked up. Died inside when it was aired. Asterisk, enthusiastic smile and sudden excitement to answer asterisk. It's all right. You can say it. Now son. The only reason Daddy said that on live TV was because he thought he was gonna win money with that username. It happens though. I knew someone who was on Family Feud. Name a place kids like to go in the summer, school. Doe. What animal do we eat? But doesn't eat us? ... Well, why Grant. I want to change my answer. I realized it's not totally accurate because I have seen a pig eat a man. In fact I've seen many pigs eat many men. It was a bloodbath. 6th grade all-day field trip to SeaWorld Orlando. Surprise period through my white shorts. All the moms who wanted to help only had tampons. I was 11 and had no idea how to use them. There ensued an embarrassing crash course. I was devastated until random dad saved the day by giving me his windbreaker to tie around my waist and told me to go have fun. Thanks random field trip dad. You saved the day. What a great story of human kindness. Not all heroes wear capes. Windbreakers are twice as useful. I had a customer who was holding and examining an awkward, fragile, and expensive item with one hand. I asked her to please hold it with two. She turned to look at me. She only had one arm. You know, out of all the great answers in this thread, this is the one that actually made me laugh out loud. I can almost picture your face as she turns around. Turn beet red. Mumble out an apology. Go take a bathroom break till she leaves. I helped coordinate Medicaid transportation to appointments. Had a really rude client on the phone yelling that his ride wasn't there. I put him on hold. Call the driver. He is sitting out front. I switch back over. The client is still yelling. I said, "Sir, just look outside. He's right there." It had been a bad day. And I learned my lesson from this. Please keep that in mind. He says, "I can't. I'm blind." Sure as shit. His file says blind. Now I don't lose my temper on the phone.